Amy Wilson is the author of When Did I Get Like This? The Screamer, the Worrier, the Dinosaur Chicken Nugget Buyer, and Other Mothers I Swore I'd Never Be. And she joins us now. Hello, Amy.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Okay, so which is the worst part of these? The Screamer, the Worrier, the Nuggets? The Nuggets aren't that bad. 3 times a week, a little bit heavy.
Right.
A little bit much.
The Screamer is the worst, I think.
And how often is the screaming happening? Now, we have triplets at home, so there's no judgment here because you wouldn't believe the screaming that goes on.
I don't scream every day. I definitely scream every week, despite saying I'm not going to.
If you're on a once a week, you are so far ahead of the curve.
I can't say I'm once a week.
Okay.
I mean, I talk about it in the book. I think the reason I'm not so sure it's warping my kids. It is less and less effective. I'm finding, now I'm like, right, you can't do this. And you see them kind of look at each other like, oh, here she goes again. That's when you know you have to stop because it's not even working.
Right. And the warping, it's interesting. You say, well, I don't know if it's warping them. And it's probably not. It's warping us more than it warps them, doesn't it? Because at the end of the day, then you and David or myself and Colleen were looking at each other. And we kind of look at each other when we do it like, boy, we are lunatics. Why are we like this now?
Right. You're left with the shame. And once you close their doors at the end of the day and you look back on your day, I do. I kind of keep a tab of, here's what I did wrong today.
Now,
this and this and this.
Colleen and I align bed at night, and we'll talk about where we've gone wrong and how did we get like this. And now I'm going to call you out on this, Amy, right now. Because David gets thrown under the bus a little bit here, I think.
You think?
I do a little bit.
People telling me that, and I don't even think he thinks that, which is interesting. But
well,
at least you tell me what.
Then maybe you're right on. But because you're the one that worries about this, and David's just like, well, then don't listen to them or different things like this. And I think dads in general, come on, we've evolved a little bit. We're not completely humpbacked and hairy-knuckled. We're paying attention to things a little bit and concern. But, I think you and David sounds like have a great relationship because, and this I think is a lot the way I'd like to think my wife and I are, in that she worries a little bit like you. And she goes out of WebMD when Anna's got too much of a cough and does all these things. And, God, what was the other thing? Oh, somebody told her about a 529 plan the other day. Mm-hmm. And they've already paid off their kids' college. And then she's asking me, every friend we have, do they have a 529? Do you think Steve has a 529? And she drove me nuts for the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. And I just said, come on, let's chill out. Now, on the reverse, there are things that I just don't care about that I probably should. And she'll be the one that pulls me into that. So we have this good, back and forth that evens it out. And I'm guessing that's kind of the way you guys are, that you need David to say, you know what, Amy, just relax about it already.
That's right. I mean, I think he's the sane one. Exactly.
Right.
Like, who just don't care about, who cares about their school project? It's not that big a deal. He is right. But I also fear, rightly or wrongly, that the judgment will be on me. And it is. I mean, we forgot our nephew's birthday last month.
Nobody's going to blame Dave for that.
His godson, his sister's son, but it's still really... And he said, he went to visit them last weekend, and I said, just apologize. Just tell them it's been a crazy time with the book. And he's like, I'll tell her that you've been really busy. And I said, well, what about, you could have also remembered that it was his birthday, but we just kind of both know that that's in my column. And I think the problem comes when that's work that's not even understood. What makes women resentful, I think, is that their husbands don't even get how much of that stuff is happening. Like, when the Easter Bunny comes, that it's just sort of the Easter Bunny came. There's no idea of the forethought and stress and overthinking that went into it.
Well, I think I'll kowtow to that a little bit because you're absolutely right that you guys do so much stuff that we don't even think about because, and this sounds really silly, but this is what moms do. This is what, the Easter Bunny, if the Easter Bunny was a guy, wouldn't be that great. Mm-hmm. The Easter Bunny's a girl that we all think that girl, that Easter Bunny is. That's a female bunny right there. And that's what makes it so special, right? Because it wouldn't be, in general, with a lot of these things. It's a woman's sensibility, I think, that makes these precious moments. Whereas if a guy was in charge of it all, they'd look back on them and kind of just laugh at them, right?
Right. But a little dose of that is sometimes a good thing.
Absolutely. Now, so, when you guys are parenting and you're worrying about these things, you write a lot in the book about how moms need to be perfect and you really write a lot about that, especially at the beginning of the book. As I'm reading it, I'm thinking, I understand where you're saying it from, but where does it actually come from? Because you say you don't completely blame the media and you don't completely blame husbands. Is it moms on moms? Is this why you feel this way, that you have to be perfect, that you have to tear yourself apart about this? You write that your own mom didn't do any of this stuff. And to be fair, you write that she lived in an age where you didn't have all these things to worry about because nobody was ever telling you about them. You didn't have the technology, fertility clinics, all these different things. But where is it coming from that moms feel that they have to be perfect moms?
I think it's a whole soup of things, and I do think it is a lot of the media and the internet and the Google doctoring, self-diagnosing of our infants we can all do these
Right.
days, and the news, the scare tactics on the news, and the moms on message boards, and yes, I do think other moms are judgmental. I had something on my blog this week where there's a study that came out that said, now if you let your baby cry it out, it might cause brain damage. Now, if you read the study, it's like if you let a teeny tiny 6-week-old infant
Right.
cry for hours on end,
Right.
for weeks on end, then there might be some brain damage caused to that baby. But of course, once the headlines come out, it's crying it out
Right.
causes brain damage. There's no gray area, and so you read that, and that you're like 18-month-old. You had to let him cry it out for 2 nights after your vacation when he slept in bed with you.
Right.
You're going to have all this guilt about it, and that's what I think. We shouldn't accept that guilt, but there needs to be a sort of a movement to say, you know what, that's silly, and I'm not going to worry about that, because every parent has let their kid cry it out, whether you did it when they're 3 or 3 months. You
Yeah.
have done it, and you're going to feel bad about it.
Amy Wilson, the author of When Did I Get Like This? The Screamer, the Warrior, the Dinosaur Chicken Nugget Buyer, and Other Mothers I Swore I'd Never Be. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.